I would bring it up to an adversary like, hey, just have your client use Soberlink. It really is a great product, and I refer it to anybody. I recommend anybody use it. My name's Sean Wirth. I work at a law firm in New Jersey called Lemuro Law. I do basically everything involving family law. The main issue that we run into really is one spouse saying you can't see the children because of alcohol-related allegations. That's really when Soberlink comes in and is an extremely helpful resource and device for allegations such as that. The main goal is to get my client back to the same point that they were previously with their child prior to these alcohol-related incidents. For example, there might be a situation where they lost parenting time with their children. We introduce Soberlink to them, and hopefully they can get back to that 50-50 aspect or wherever they were previously. When I first got out of law school, I worked for a family judge, and I really started looking into it at that period of time because we would have so many cases that would come in. I would bring it up to an adversary like, hey, just have your client use Soberlink. It really is a great product, and I refer it to anybody. I recommend anybody use it. How does it work? They get the notification, they blow into it. It's hopefully a compliant test. They get to have their parenting time with their children and go on with their day. It's that monitoring device to reassure the other parent that the person is not drinking when they have the child. But it's also an accountability device as well. They know that they need to blow into this device, whether it's before they're having parenting time or 3 times a day. Whoever is a contact is going to be getting an alert. So either your attorney is going to know, the other attorney is going to know if you had a positive test, or that you've been compliant for X amount of days. What's good about Soberlink is you get the monthly test results. So there was a case where I had to go into court, and instead of attaching several days worth of testing, you get this calendar that just has the check marks 3 times a day in there. And I was able to introduce that in front of a judge to demonstrate that my client has been sober for however many months. Also, as far as the facial recognition aspect goes, I was handling a case one time where I got an email and it was a Soberlink test and it was a non-compliant test. I look at the email and it was a completely different person than who the client was. So at that point, we knew that they were getting somebody else to blow into the device. We were able to act quickly on that end to make sure that the children were not going to that parent on that day, because it could be assumed that person was most likely drinking. So in that sense, it kind of bypasses us having to really even go in front of a judge. I can just contact my adversary and say, here you go, here it is, here's the proof. And it's really, really good in that regard. I was aware of these services because I did have a client at one point that was blowing very minuscule positive results. So I had her contact the compliance department to really get a breakdown or an explanation of what was actually happening. And we were actually in the clear for the positive tests. They have experts that can come testify in court, and I just think that's a fantastic resource if I ever ran into that situation in the future. Because it's an all-in-one device. You have the facial recognition, you have a very reliable breathalyzer device with the real-time results. Also, that there's the ability to do a retest to determine if you really did have a positive test or not. It just provides a great product for really family law practitioners and clients.